Hello everyone! Welcome to a new Let's Play, as you can see on screen and in the title, probably in a few other places along the side of the screen, I don't know. We are going to be playing Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut.
Who's this we?
Wait.
Hang on. No.
Hang on a second. We crossed the streams again!
Oh God, this isn't my house. You want my beautiful wife? Hang on, I don't have a beautiful wife. I don't have a wife.
I would definitely not be a beautiful wife. But yes, joining me is Yorkshire Raven.
I'm back.
And as I think this is the second Let's Play you've been in on my channel.
So far.
And I spend a lot of time on your channel.
It's pretty much your second home, really.
Yeah. So, Shadow of the Templars. I don't know the history of this game a whole lot because I haven't researched it. I do remember playing this game when it came out a few decades ago, shortly before the advent of 3D modeling in games and even the full motion video craze in adventure games. But yes, this is a point-and-click adventure game. I have played it a long time ago. I have not played all the way through the Director's Cut. And even if I had, I wouldn't be able to tell you the differences between the original and this one. Because it has been that long.
And I only played the demo. The demo I've got on cover disc. And even then, it's then catching Let's Plays by other LPers down the line. Now, they've been a while ago.
And just for those interested, this is the version you get off of GOG.com. As will be any sequels that we choose to do with this game. Because that's where I bought them. So anyway, I could go into the story, but I would mangle, I have no idea how much of it, because, again, been way too long since I played. So we're just going to hit new game, and we're going to let the story tell itself for once.
Paris, city of love, romance, and dreams. So they say.
Oh, Papa!
I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
That's getting turned down fairly soon.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nicole Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty. You're too kind, madame.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat. My God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the Mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nicole Collard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
So, that's how that begins.
It's time to meddle.
It's time to meddle. And apologies if that didn't seem like it was overly loud as far as what OBS was showing me. But I did actually have things set up to have all the volumes lowered, but apparently the cutscenes are not in that list.
Ugh.
So, anyway, we move the mouse pointer around the screen. Anything that's an area of interest will be indicated by a blue circle. When the pointer passes over an object we can interact, it'll change to whatever we can do to the thing. The left mouse button performs actions. The briefcase opens inventory. Diary question mark to get hints if we need it. Scanner icon to save and restore game adjust settings. So yeah, this is what I have, but that's all I get. So let's see. Yep, there is indeed a little blue circle there. Let's begin by ignoring the body.
Filled with obscure first editions.
I thought I had subtitles allowed, but it doesn't show subtitles during the cutscenes. Oh well.
Oh what?
A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
Humble, you say? The
Very.
man has busts of himself. That is not the mark of a humble man.
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
Don't we say he was humbled by a good bust?
By a good... Well... Don't think I can get away with saying that, but, just checking around, making sure anything else. Because if I vaguely recall, you did not get the hints of... You did not get the little blue circles in the original version. Which will save time. Double check the books.
It contained rows of titles I didn't recognize. Programming the Z80 by Rodney Zacks. Ah, the romance, the drama, the great classic novels had a lot to learn.
I don't know why I goat either. Don't ask.
It contained rows of titles I didn't
I
recognize.
guess he was just bleaching on.
Maybe you wanted to butt in.
A bust of Pierre Carchon.
Okay.
I got one more, but we can't really get away with that one.
Probably not.
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Okay. So, just humor me for a second. If you were going to cut a glass out of a pane, the most likely reason you would do that is so you could reach in and toggle the lever, right?
Yeah.
Look how far that hole is from the lever itself. If you're lucky, your fingertips might be able to graze that lever from where that hole is.
He just had long arms.
Apparently. And you also saw how thick his arms were. I have a feeling that hole was not big enough.
I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
Too bad, because you're probably shedding hair everywhere.
Not a good idea to touch the broken glass.
I'm just wanting you to look at it. See? That's an eye icon, Nico.
And now she's leaving fingerprints.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket, and took it with him.
Now, given what we saw of the ladder, it doesn't fold up. And there are foldable ladders.
Yeah. And this is more of a sensible point and click.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window.
Yeah, we are not dealing with Sam and Max logic in this game.
You still got me a good buddy.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him.
Aye, not a bad name for him.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow. I opened
Fingerprints.
his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
Too late.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow. I
Eyes
opened
open,
his eyes.
Eyes closed. Eyes
Best to
open,
leave the crime
eyes
scene as I
closed.
found it. Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
Boy, there's a story there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carchon had been shot.
Got shot from the front, at least.
Carchon had been shot.
Shot in the heart. A mind to blame. They give love a bad name.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down.
A good thing we found that, huh?
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
So, I mean, why did you actually take it instead of just looking at it then?
Carchon had been shot.
And she only tampered with the evidence by touching him.
Yeah.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Well, no sense hanging around this popsicle stand.
Right, skidoo.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
But of course, we have a witness saying that we were here at the time.
Yeah.
So leaving would only get us into potential trouble, really.
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go out of this room yet.
There's a couple of things to
A
check on the
Louis
table.
XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy. A magnificent antique table.
Is it mahogany?
I hope so. I doubt it's from the trees of Melchior 7, though.
No.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Funny little hole in the table here.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Well, I guess we're stumped, or...
Oh, and maybe just click on to an idea. Clip on to a good idea.
Yeah.
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
You know, I don't think anyone has this coming.
No.
A magnificent antique table.
That easel looks interesting.
Yeah, that easel does look very interesting. And of course, now we're within full view of her.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
I have to move out of the way so I can actually see the stuff I need to interact with over here.
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Huh.
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
That was weird.
Yep.
Anything else I can interact with around here? I don't think we can interact with the phone just yet.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Pierre Collard.
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
I don't think this actually matters. So which one do you want to pick?
And let's just guys, she's a journalist. At least she's not a paparazzi.
This is true.
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if. My editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Let's stay on the good side, I guess.
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this. There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case.
Nope, still can't interact with the phone. Okay, so now...
Time for more rummaging.
time for us to go poking our nose completely into this and get the police really mad at us.
Oh, yeah.
The door was locked. Now we were getting somewhere.
Okay. So we have actually managed to get past the first little hurdle here. We really wanted into this room, apparently. I guess if I'd clicked on the door, she might have expressed more interest in that. But I didn't, so here we are. But yeah, I think this marks a good place to take a break. When we return, we're going to start here and hope we can actually get through the entire place before the police show up. Well, of course we can. It's not based on an actual timer, is it?
You move to the speed of plot.
Basically. So, until then, take care, everyone.
Nanu.